Well, the lefties must be upset. Let's begin. The article says that major regulator Ofcom has launched an investigation into shows hosted by politicians on GB News and Talk TV. The first probe centres around Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg's State of the Nation programme, while the second is an episode of Talk TV's Richard Teicher's show, presented by former SNP leader Alex Salmond. Sir Jacob's GB News show addressing a court case involving Donald Trump resulted in the media watchdog receiving 40 complaints objecting to the MP for North East Somerset acting as a newsreader during his State of the Nation show on May the 9th. An Ofcom spokesperson said, "We are investigating whether this programme broke our rules which prevent politicians from acting as newsreaders, unless exceptionally it is editorially justified." But they're not done there, because the regulator will also investigate the Talk TV episode on April the 2nd presented by Mr Salmond, who is the leader of the Alba Party. Ofcom has said it has received 2 complaints regarding the impartiality of that programme in relation to a discussion over whether the SNP was holding back the course of independence. A spokesperson said, "We are investigating whether this programme broke our rules requiring news and current affairs to be presented with due impartiality." The media regulator added it is looking into an edition of GB News' Saturday programme with Esther and Philip broadcast on March the 11th, which states the husband and wife duo Esther McVeigh and Philip Davies, who are both serving MPs. To be honest, I think quite a lot of this involves autocue, because let's face it, being MPs, presenting TV isn't exactly their main role, is it? And quite often as household names, I'm guessing they probably got approached for the job in the first place, and with the amount of money they probably got offered to do the role, I'm guessing it was probably quite hard for them to turn down, so more than likely they probably had to learn on their feet and presumably are just reading the autocue, which, let's face it, is what newsreaders kind of do, don't they? As for the impartiality bit, well, of course it is good to be impartial. People do have their biases, don't they? As we of course have seen many times on Remainer-filled BBC programmes that basically just kind of bash Brexit all the time, don't they, from what I've seen. Even those programmes themselves are shown on a channel which is funded by the taxpayer and therefore should be impartial, because that's what we pay the BBC a TV licence for. But back to GB News and Talk TV, they are not funded by the taxpayer, are they? So presumably shouldn't really have to be impartial at all, even though admittedly that would be a good thing for them to do. But at the end of the day, surely people are entitled to freedom of speech and their opinions, regardless of if Ofcom agrees with it or not. So if anything, personally I think this is them sort of clutching at straws and trying to say, no, you are not doing the lefty bias thing here properly, you need to have another good look at yourself. When in truth, not everything is for the lefties out there. I'm sorry, but it isn't lefties. Because let's face it, when they're being biased, you never really hear much about that, do you? But when the shoe is on the other foot, then that is when you seem to hear nothing but moaning over Twitter all the time. But of course, I could be wrong. Anyway, if you want to see more of me, make sure you click that subscribe button down there so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you in the next one.